this video we're going to show how to make a good watertight seal between a slanted roof and a wall. That's one of the most difficult areas to seal. If you don't do it right, you always get leaks down the wall. We know because we've done it the wrong way several times. Now we know how to do it the right way. For demonstration purposes, we're just going to show on this roof, which already has shingles and step flashing. We're going to ignore the step flashing because we're taking a look at how to install underlayment, waterproof underlayment against the wall to have metal roofing go over it. So, the thing that you should have, it's not absolutely necessary, but I always use it, is some sort of a flashing material. This is aluminum. You could use steel, but aluminum is a lot easier to work with, and a lot of times it's cheaper anyway. That's 12-inch. Now, when you're putting in underlayment for metal roofing, you don't use step flashing at all. That's only to work with shingles. What you want to do is run a continuous piece of aluminum all the way from the top to the bottom of your roof, like so. And you want to make sure you leave enough at the top so you can go over your cap area. This will actually be bent like so. Part of it will be up against the wall, the other part on the roof. And what you want to do is bring your aluminum about 6 inches to the other side of the cap. You cut up on a V to the center of your bend, and that'll lay down on your cap area and the roof just fine. So remember, it's one continuous sheet of aluminum from about 6 inches on the other side of your cap all the way down the wall to the edge of the roof. I'm not going to show how to do that. We'll use a small piece to show how it's done. Okay, the key to making a watertight seal against a wall is a combination of caulk and always, or most of the time, overlapping each layer. Most of the time you want to overlap each successive layer over the previous layer. Not always. I'll show you where there's an exception to that rule. But most of the time that's what you want to do, because water will shed from top to bottom by gravity. You want it to go over the upper layers of underlayment so it sheds out away from everything. Now for caulking, this says all-purpose acrylic latex caulk plus silicone. This stuff works just fine. It's cheap, it's easy to apply, it'll set up in a pretty fast, reasonable amount of time. You can also use 3006 Ultra all-purpose elastomeric sealant. I found it says it's paintable, dries non-tacky, interior, exterior, but I found that a lot of times when it has continuous water on it, it softens back up and dissolves. So it's not for underwater use. You can use it around windows, doors, and in this application because it doesn't have continuous water on it. Another type that we're looking at is Dynaflex 230. This is another flexible and crack-proof plastic air sealant. Now this one says 100% waterproof. I don't know if I believe them, but let's just say we do. But this particular type, I know the 3006 is not waterproof. This says it is. So we got that at Menards. Now, it's important to know what length of sheet metal you're using. This is about a 12-inch piece right here. You can also use 6-inch or 8-inch. You just have to adjust the underlayment. Starts where the underlayment begins. We'll show you that in a minute. But it's so many inches above or below the edge of the metal. Now you use the metal to protect your underlayment from getting holes, cracks and holes right in the seam. You can see that. You can make this aluminum pretty tight if you're stapling up here. You can make it tight into the crack, but you don't really need that. I usually leave it a little bit rounded in there so it doesn't put as much stress on your underlayment when you put it in there. So I put it in about like that. I give it a good radius so you never get cracking on your tire paper or your plastic underlayment. That's about how I like it. Now this is, like I said, this is 12-inch, and you always overlap, whenever possible, you overlap each successive layer. So going up the wall, the first layer is going to be this stuff. That's your synthetic plastic underlayment. That's going to be the first piece you put down. So you want that to come a 1/2 inch to 1 inch below your aluminum edge. Your aluminum edge is going up 6 inches. So you want the edge of the underlayment to come up 5 inches. The way you do that is you mark inches here. At the top, it's actually, I can't get way under there, but right at the top of the ridge. And then 5 inches here. And the next thing you want to do is snap a line. Somebody hold the top of your chalk line up here. And put that in there. Just let it roll. And then you put this on your 5-inch mark here. And you hold that tight. Snap your line. That gives you a perfectly straight edge to work from. That's 5 inches up. You're going to take your DAP Zap. You're going to put a bead of caulk, nice hefty bead of caulk, right on that line. Now when you're putting the first layer of underlayment on, it's going to be, what is this, 4 foot? Yeah, it's 4 feet. This is just a short piece, so you're going to run a vertical piece from 6 inches over your ridge all the way down to the edge of your roof. You're going to run a vertical sheet. That keeps the water from getting underneath everything. Take this, start it up at the top. You've got your bead of caulk on here, so you go up above your caulk maybe 1/4 of an inch, and you run that straight down the wall. Need a couple people. And what you're going to do is 1/4 inch up from 5 inches. You're going to tack that in. About every 3 inches you're going to tack that in. Tighten off your caulk. So it's right in your caulk, and that makes your seal on the first piece. Second piece, .6 inches, because your aluminum is going to go up to your 6-inch line, which is about there. The aluminum goes over the plastic. Plastic is tough, it's not going to rip easily. Again, you put a bead of caulk between the line and the top edge of your plastic, right at about this line here. You're going to take your sheet of aluminum that you cut for 6 inches over the ridge down to the bottom of your roof. It's going to go in just like this, right on the line. Now with the aluminum, you can actually staple through it, like that.
Cool.
Will actually hold the top edge in that caulk. Now when you come to the bottom, you put your radius in, whatever radius you want, and you can also then put your staples in through your plastic and through your wood underlayment. And you keep your staples out here on the edge, not up in here. That'll cause a leak. Keep them out here. There won't be a leak because the water can't get past this into that crack. Okay. Now that you've got your plastic underlayment and your aluminum, the first underlayment you're going to run past this vertical sheet would be your tar paper. This is just a piece of junk. Your tar paper comes in 3-foot wide rolls, and you're going to run that across horizontally, starting at the bottom and working your way to the top. What I like to do is overlap each successive layer of tar paper or plastic underlayment. I like to go 1 foot. You can go 8.5 inches, which is here on this line, or you can go 11.5, which is this line. I like to go to this bottom line here with each successive layer. It gives you plenty of overlap so the water doesn't back up, it doesn't work back up. Now when you start on the wall side, going to the open side of the roof. Now I told you there was an exception to the rule. Here's the only exception. When you run your tar paper up, not over the top of the aluminum, but just below the top of the aluminum, about like this. You don't need caulk on this, on the tar paper. You staple it along there, and then you push your paper right into that rounded corner, so there's no air gap. If you have an air gap in and you step on it, you'll put a break in this tar paper. So you push it right into the round of the aluminum. That's why you have the aluminum there. You make a rounded corner, and then you start tacking. You can put your first staples in about a foot out after you push that in. Put staples about a foot out, going down a 3-foot run. Now, final thing, after you get all the tar paper on and it's stapled down, the final step you're going to put on is more underlayment. So you get your tar paper coming up this high. Okay, so now we got our, you can drive those staples through layers of underlayment, aluminum, and right into the wall. So now your tar paper is all on, stapled down. Final thing you want is your plastic underlayment over everything. So to do that, I'm going to take this aluminum edge and run another bead of caulk right on the top edge of your aluminum, just above it. And this is just the end of your 4-foot wide rolls. This would be a whole roll you're going to run. And bring that up into the caulk that's just above the aluminum. So you press it into the caulk. Again, you staple that in right into the caulk. That makes your final seal over everything, so you don't get water entrainment down into everything. This will be your final layer right before you put your metal roof over it. And the metal roof can go not all the way into the corner, back off about 1/4 of an inch, so the metal roof doesn't cut into the underlayment. Later on, you can caulk between the metal roof and your underlayment. Keep the water from getting under the metal roofing. So that's about all there is to it. It's all about layering. If you layer everything properly, you won't get a leak. And you don't want leaks down these walls. I guarantee it, you don't want a leak. Okay, that's it for now.